Hello and welcome to episode 177 of the Talking Wednesday podcast. It's Dex, Worko and Punk here for you, all three of us today, as we are looking forward to the day the podcast comes out today. England are in a final again. Consecutive Euro finals. There's plenty of Sheffield Wednesday news to talk about as well today. Plenty to go into this podcast, but we'll start, as we always do, with Jake. And how has your week been, my mate?
It's not been bad, mate. I've been trying to sort some bits and pieces. Right, I hit proper middle-aged dad mode. I bought a fancy brand new Hoover, come here one dead, and I'm really happy with it. So there's not much.
That's exciting. What Hoover did you get? This is when you get to an age.
We got a Shark Hoover.
Yeah, we had the handheld Shark, but it's died, which is really annoying.
Yeah, we had a Dyson, and I refused to pay any more money to that man anymore with everything that's happened. So we picked up a Shark, and we managed to get £100 off it. So it should have been $299, and we got it for $199. So very happy indeed. But it also makes me go, oh, how rubbish have my old Hoover been? Because on the house, it's like spotless. So like, I'm very happy with my purchase. Sarah's actually in the middle of going, they're doing the same offer on like new air fryers. Can I have a look? I went, oh God. Well, I know what's happening in the next couple of days.
Air fryers are also great.
They are.
So
very handy.
And I know that's like a very basic person thing to say, but yes, they are. They make life a lot easier. Go on, Jack.
I've actually got an Irwin Hoover, but it doesn't play very nice with my Stingray rug. It keeps getting, if we're talking, fish-related humour, just... But yes,
I can't remember our main Hoover brand, but I know it's got a few settings because we've got downstairs. We've got like wooden floor. It's not proper wood. It's rented accommodation floor wood. That's not, but it's nice enough. But it's a case of like we needed something that could do everything really with the carpets upstairs, sort of thing. But yeah, it's I don't like that Hoover. Soph likes that Hoover. But I used to really like the Shark handheld, and then it just stopped charging. And I was like, is it still in warranty? And no, it was just out.
Oh, I'm going to say if it wasn't, because they got a good warranty, because it's like 5-year warranty normally.
Is it 5 year?
Yeah.
Well, okay, it might be then, because Soph got it, but like, it's, I thought it had a shorter warranty than that, but she's probably even lost the receipts and everything. But if she bought it online, there might be an email trace. I'll
have a look. It's worth doing. Did she get it when you moved in there?
She got it when she initially moved up here just before I did. So yeah.
Yeah, it got a 5-year warranty.
Yeah.
Got a 5-year warranty. I'd find that and get that done.
Unless there is a chance that one is the one that she possibly took off her mum and dad's because they got a new one. So that might be a problem. I'll look into it. Doesn't matter.
Figure it out.
But yes, Hoover talk. What a riveting start to the. So that was your week then, Jake. You got a new Hoover. That's exciting. Jack, you return from the beyond. Let's not have a Jack rant about the PC.
Oh no, don't worry.
Good.
I mean,
we've had enough of those.
That situation just is what it is. It's getting solved on the warranty, and so.
It'd be released on Drainways for the day, so he's on day release. Yeah,
despite the haircut that I've actually had in between last being on this, no, I didn't break out of prison recently. No, Michael Schofield is not my brother, and no, I've not been in that. I've actually forgotten the name of the prison from Prison Break now.
Wentworth.
Something like that. I don't know.
Wentworth is a different.
It's got green in it,
but they like to use Wentworth anyway.
Yes, yeah. I've broken out from Wentworth Garden Centre. Yes, they were holding me prisoner in the greenhouses.
Isn't Wentworth a women's prison?
It might be actually.
I don't know.
It's the Australian series, isn't it? I might be getting mixed up. My dad used to watch it.
We always said Jack.
Right.
I've got to ask. What was the consideration? Why? Why did we decide that we were going to audition for This Is England? What did we go with?
I just like weirdly, I just felt like I needed the mental reset. So I was like, you know what? Screw it.
You did a Britney.
Yeah.
Genuinely serious. I did a Britney Spears 2007.
Fair enough. Were you sort of like, were you getting the razor, looking in the mirror with a single tear down your eye, just like taking it off by strand as your tears got heavier?
Yeah, while Jake prepared a video going, leave workout alone. That's what it was going on. But I was just you know what? It was really funny. I went to my barber and I said, can you give me a number 2 on the top and then fade it in at the back and the sides? And they just kept going, are you sure about this? Are you sure? Because
that's usually when you know you're not doing the right thing.
You don't want to do a number 4 and then see if you want it any shorter. And I was like, no, do it. So I did.
It's like when I had it, when I used to have long hair, I walked into the hairdresser, like, I want to cut it off, and they're like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, yeah.
Have you considered this? Have you had a thought about this? Or was this something you decided on last night? And I was like,
why do people do it, right? Because eventually, even if we don't lose it in early age, we're all going to lose our hair anyway. So why did we do it at a younger age when we've still got the hair? I say we because I've not done it. I want to.
Oh, really, James? I thought the luscious locks. You did it. Yeah, I thought you did it last week. It's actually a wig, guys. James is wearing a wig.
I did the thing once where because I used to have a quiff. I did the thing where it was kind of.
We remember the quiff. We remember that quiff.
There was a style where like you had the quiff, but you had the sides completely like pretty much one, around the sides and sort of like, and I did that. And I just looked like a plucked chicken, so I decided against it in the future. That's the closest I ever got.
Makes sense.
I don't have a good head shape for that, really.
See, I'm not allowed to have a shaved head anymore. It's part of my agreement with the wife.
You do look like you're warming up a spoon, Jake. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
I do.
I thought it would be Daniel Radcliffe playing you in a really controversial movie if you shaved your head. If you remember that movie. That's a real deep dive, by the way. A real like niche.
Well, it's literally I'm not allowed to shave my head and I'm not allowed to shave my beard because if I shave my beard, I look like 12.
Fair enough.
I'm not going to say the joke. I'm not going to say the joke.
I've decided to maintain the beard in a different way now. I just hate scraggly beards. I hate them. So I've just decided I'm gonna basically grow it all down the chin like a big triangle, right? And then I'm gonna let it go because it just grows unevenly. Beards do that. So it's like a case of I was like, if I can just keep the sides, it makes your face look fatter and everything. Yeah.
How's your week been?
Oh, very. Like, I know it's the joke, but like I've not stopped this week, and I'm feeling it, sort of thing. I'm taking a few weeks off. It's like I'm getting a summer holiday, like back in the day. I'm taking a few weeks off soon, and I'm basically just going to try and write music again.
Hey!
And get myself back into some sort of shape, doing my basically 18-year-old exercise pattern, because it's easier to do when you're not having to go to work and sustain yourself. So if I take some time off, take a few weeks, get myself in the discipline mode, I'll be able to,
nice,
do it properly. So
maybe
that's
shave your head.
plan.
That helped me.
Nah.
Do a Britney because that helped me.
No, but like I'm feeling like I've started like it's because I started like trying to push myself a little bit more exercise wise. And I do this, I get really nauseous when I exercise. And this is the problem that I've faced like my entire life sort of thing. And it's not hydration. I've looked into like, what can I do sort of thing. And just genuinely, if I push myself cardio wise, half of the time I will throw up. Yep. So that's great.
I was just about to chuckle because I just noticed that Jake just went to a total different like plane of existence. He was just going like proper warming up a spoon sort of stare. Yeah, it was really funny. But yes, yeah.
Kind of half of Jake's thing when he's trying not to have a fit, Jack. Have you never noticed that?
Oh, was that what was going on? Oh, I thought it was just properly like.
I do the edits, and I'm like, I really hope the audience because the audience are going to do this now. I was like, don't pay attention to Jake on camera the whole episode because he does weird little stims and things like that to stop himself from having a fit.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes if you look at him, you're like, what are you doing, Jake? Yeah, but like, it's just what he does.
Right now, I've got the stickers in my hand just doing this, so I've got something to do.
I've got some stickers as well. I've got all the members stickers here that are left over basically from one of the membership. I also realised Andy's a Scotland fan, isn't he? He got a lovely Euro sticker sent. Well, he got all of his year stickers sent through. He got all of his Euro stickers sent through. There is believe it or not, I made these before the actual fully thing was qualified, and Wales was still a question. So there's actually a Welsh dragon on it as well. They didn't even make the tournament. So there's like the Scotland flag, the England flag, and that. But literally, it'll have probably hit Andy's doorstep as Scotland went out, which is
that's funny.
Interesting. But yes, it's been. I'm all right, mate. It's good to have everybody back on the podcast.
Yes,
I've managed to. I'm trying to sort my audio out as we currently speak because he's doing his Bluetooth thing again. So you keep talking for 2 seconds.
I'm trying to get Jack there to get a Mac. It is something that we have spoke about, just even if it's something basic for the pod, for him to just have it that we know it works. He's not happy about the idea because it defeats
I've never
everything.
had one before, and it's like admitting defeat if I get a Mac.
It's not admitting defeat. It's just another productivity device for you to help with. And
it's not the only thing though. It's not a thing like it's not an iPhone conversation though.
No,
because I have an Android. Yeah, I have. That's the thing. I have an Android because they're more efficient and they're better. Generally, I had iPhones, and iPhones are great to sync with your system if you've got a Mac and stuff like that. But I prefer to get more for my money, which is why I've got. I go Samsung route basically. But it's a case of like, in terms of Macs, the reason they're useful is they are basically really good creative powerhouses. Yeah. So, and they don't tend to go wrong. So that's why I was like, even if you just got like a Mac Mini and used it for your content, I'm considering getting a Mac Mini again. So I can't afford one. That's the problem. But like, I am tempted to get one for the new setup because the Mac Minis are getting really, really good.
Yeah. Here's the thing. One of the things I love about the iPhone and the Mac together, though, in OBS, you can hook your phone up to OBS and it'll use the camera on your phone. So you can automatically have it. That is such an easy fix. And it just, mate, seriously, if you can make the money back somehow to do it, I'd get a Mac. Just doing this kind of stuff, it makes life easier. Because
it's not even just you that's been doing it as well. Lee Wildgoose has been messaging me pretty much like every sort of 2 or 3 days saying, get a Mac. Or like, you know, I say something on Twitter or formerly known, it's X, formerly known as Twitter, about the PC going wrong. And he's just like, get a Mac.
I will admit, when I told James last week about your PC situation, it's like, why doesn't he just get a Mac and get over it?
Oh my God.
I'm like, you need to pull the plaster off, mate. Because the amount of times you've had PC issues, PCs, this is the thing, even a gaming laptop. I ran the whole bloody podcast off a gaming laptop for the first year and a half. Right? Because it's all integrated. There's less that goes wrong, and that's Windows based. When you've got something that's modular, like you have, that's when things go wrong.
I love
so even a gaming laptop, if you don't want a Mac, they work the same way.
Come back on the podcast and he's just immediately getting bullied.
Great, it is. And that random user with no profile picture was wondering why I'm always so negative the other week on the podcast in the comments section. This is why.
Because he makes his life harder by having not a Mac.
Anyway, let's do the England talk before we get into the Sheffield Wednesday talk. It's going to be a long episode, so probably in that regard. So, the final. How are you feeling about it, Jack? You think we're going to do it?
How have we managed this? How? And you know what's even funnier? Apparently Gareth Southgate is going to be keeping his job regardless of what happens in the final.
There's a rumour of a 2-year contract on the offer.
Happened? Yeah. How have we were ruining the tournament in the group stages. We were And we've got to the final now. Although, admittedly, the game against the Netherlands, we were just so much better. And frankly, we were playing how we should have done in the group stages. So I don't know if that was if I'm doing Gareth Southgate a disservice here, and he intentionally played terribly in the group stages to then play like this in the knockouts. I mean,
well, if he wins it, he's England's greatest ever manager. Because if you think about the amount of finals and semi-finals he's got to, he actually technically becomes England's greatest ever manager. Which is crazy.
The year we won the World Cup, Sheffield Wednesday didn't have a single penalty that season.
And guess what's happened again? The season just gone. Yes.
Look, here's the thing, though. This is why I'm mildly I'm gonna get into this game, obviously, because the knockouts until the semi-final, I was kind of like, we're crap. We're not. Southgate's not. But now it's one of those teams. You see it all the time. Think about Italy. They didn't play very well when they had us, right? And they managed to house their way to a final and then have us in the final. Yeah. Spain, and we played good football in that tournament, right? Remember? Yep. Spain are the team this tournament that are playing good football, really good football. They deserve to win. But then you get the team that have got better gradually every single time.
Always experience of a
final. That Spanish team don't really have experience of an international final. Because if you think about the actual players that are in it compared to when Spain used to be really good, it's been a while. Whereas England have always, in the past sort of 6-8 years, been around the semi-finals, around the finals. They've got more experience there. You could do a job. The fact that I think the thing that's most impressive is actually you look at it as a squad game. And if he's looking at it as a squad game, he used the subs against the Netherlands perfectly, right? It was crying out for Ollie Watkins at that point, and he was proactive for the first time in this entire tournament. He brought players on when we needed them. And it's a case of because my argument was we should have put Ollie Watkins on at the start and ran them ragged, and then put Harry Kane on. But Harry Kane sort of playing that position. Harry Kane just looks sluggish to me. He looks sluggish at this time of the season sometimes if he's run his arse off the whole season.
But also he's also played a different style to what he'd done every other season at Tottenham at Bayern Munich. It's not been a usual way of playing, so it's been a new
because he's had to play higher up. He's not come as deep for Bayern, exactly. But all of a sudden he gets back to England. It feels like he has to carry the team on his back when he doesn't have to do that.
No.
So I'm not saying we're going to win it. I think it's going to be very difficult. I think Spain could very easily win it if they turn up. But it's a final.
We've got a chance.
You've got a chance in a final.
Exactly. Yeah. Anything can happen. I also love the fact that Yamal, the young 16-year-old lad, went to go do the press conference and he got a...
Is he 16?
He's only 16, yeah. They're not mentioning it at all, have they? But he got a Ninja Turtle mask took off him to go doing the press conference. And I just love the housery of it. Mbappe, he's always known as the Ninja Turtle, Jack.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah. I'm with you now.
So I love the housery of him there to go, and he's just getting it taken and go, no, you don't do that. It's like, aw. But you know what?
I'm not going to lie. I might be boring, but I'm not a fan of that sort of stuff. When you're at the highest level, you need to be a bit more professional because he had the thing with Rabiot, right? So why is he mocking somebody else? Sort of. I know it's Barcelona and Mbappe's gone to Real Madrid and everything, but Mbappe actually, I've always thought he was a bit of a brat. He came out of this tournament and was completely held his hands up, and he actually showed more professionalism than he ever had. I've seen.
Yeah, really, but I also think the situation with Mbappe, he's going to get a wake up call when he goes to Real Madrid because he's not going to be the big guy.
That's the thing. It's like he's probably going to play as the forward, right? He's not going to get to play on that because Vinny's on the left.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
He's not going to displace him. So it is an interesting one. Do you know what I think Mbappe should have done? Should have gone somewhere like Liverpool. Can you imagine him in that Liverpool?
Yeah. God, yeah.
Liverpool start to become because then he would be the man at Liverpool. You'd have Mbappe and Salah for a couple. Jesus Christ.
I think the thing that I like about this tournament is that there've been different teams that you don't expect to be where they were, and it's just showing you how anyone can beat anyone in this tournament. It's not been your usual lot. Like, this is what's going to happen and stuff like. And again, I always prefer the Euros to the World Cup. I always have done. I just find it a lot more entertaining. The thing is, what got me about the Euros, especially with Portugal, Ronaldo needs to stop being arrogant. It's not all about him. He single-handedly ruined their chances.
Yeah.
For me.
I think it's one of those situations. You know what? It was weird me thinking this earlier. And Portugal will, when it needs to be about, I'm sorry, it needs to be about Ronaldo until he retires, but he needs to retire. That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
Or be retired. Whereas I was thinking about this with Kane. I was like, if Southgate's going to be our manager for a long time, and this is not the ideal situation, but you kind of want Kane to be in that situation where he's still a great finisher, but he's not a starter because we've got a good striker in there. Because then you actually start him on the bench, and I think Kane would be more effective in this system as coming on later with bags of energy with his deadly finishing. Say you run him ragged for 60, 70 minutes, and when that's not working, but it's tied him out and it's 0-0, and then you bring Kane on for like 20 minutes with extra time looming, you've got a fit Kane.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way I'd sort of try and manage him. But yeah, it's nice. I also like people say Tony's a like for like with Kane, and I get that, but like he assisted Kane. I think you can play them together in some sort of setups because the more you can get people up there, you can. It's very different, and this is obviously this is a football podcast, so people know when you actually go to the stadium, when you watch players off the ball, you don't see the work that Kane does off the ball on the TV most of the time. So you don't see him up and down the pitch.
Yeah.
Because the camera's not always on him. The camera's only on him when we do an attack. But if you actually look, when we're doing all them bloody sideways passes, Kane's moving.
Yeah.
He's moving between. He's
always
taking
asking
the defenders with him.
He's also always asking for the ball to change it.
That's the very different. That's the thing that you. And I think younger people, I was like this when I was younger. If you watch everything on the screen, the good thing about replays is you can usually get a view where you can see the whole pitch all the time, which is really useful actually when you're doing analysis and things like that. But when you're watching something on the TV, they're moving the camera across. So from a tactical perspective, you can't see the way the defense is shifting the line. You can't see the way they're moving the line because that's usually on the other side. The camera's on the other side at that point, and you can't see what the forwards are doing when it's on the other side. So you kind of miss the tactical aspects of the game. But if you see England, if you watch the analysis and you see when they pull further back, for example, you can see what Kane does. You can see what happens there. And that's why it's very difficult to drop him, given the player that he is. And
it's
I don't think he'll get dropped for that.
When he come off, the players that have come up are taking up the slack, we didn't used to have. You couldn't have someone come on for him because there was not another player who could take the slack. And now you've got Watkins, you've got Tony. They can take the slack now. They can make that work. You've got Palmer. That was Foden's best game of the entire tournament. And why was it Foden's best game of the tournament? He played in the right position. He gets that goal that cleared off the line. Holland are out of that completely.
And that effort that he had that hit the top left corner as well. Oh my God.
Yeah, Foden was really, really good.
I couldn't believe the England that I was watching compared to the group stages. It was insane.
I've been quite impressed with our defence, to be honest, because I thought we were going to be woeful going into this tournament defensively, but we've not been. I've been really underwhelmed with Declan Rice. I think he's not had a very good tournament whatsoever. I think Bellingham's looks tired, but Bellingham is just he's a big moment player and he's got the quality. You know, he's still on the ball, and I think something's going to happen when he's on it. And the subs have been good. You know, I genuinely think Pickford's our best keeper of all time, just for vibes alone. I don't care. I'm not old enough to go back to the other ones, but in my lifetime, he's just quality. I just love watching him. Like, if he has to do any work, he'll scream at his defense. He's like, no, we're too good. I shouldn't be having to be a goalkeeper here. I want to be on a deck chair.
Yep.
But no, it's gonna be a big one. Next time we do the podcast, we'll know. So
it's interesting to make it a little bit Wednesday related as well. It's interesting when Danny was commenting about who he thinks will win the Euros and stuff, and he actually said that the players and the teams that know what it's like to lose out on things often have the way better mentality going into these things.
Yeah.
Because they've got way more of a desire to win compared to the players who just normally win everything anyway. Look at us. Look as well at the players in the England squad itself from teams that aren't Man City. They're working way harder than the players who play at Man City who are just used to winning everything. So they just lay, but they're like, oh, whatever, we win everything anyway. What does it matter? It's
nice to have a squad where it's not just made up of the top six.
Yeah.
It's made up of everyone. And
Ollie Watkins, look at how well he's doing. He's at Villa. They're not like, they haven't been contenders for the league of the Premier League, for example, in ages. And he came from Brentford to go to Villa.
Didn't Villa get Champions League last year?
Yes, but no, but they've not won anything. Like they're still, yes, they're competing and they've got that desire to win, but they're not like the situation of Man City where they're just like, oh, we're winning everything every year, cakewalk, whatever. It's why if you actually look at the tournament as well, all of the players from the like PSGs, from the Real Madrids, from the Man Cities, from the here, there, and everywhere like that. They've not really any of them have been performing too well compared to other players.
I disagree with the Real Madrid thing because the thing you see with the Real Madrid players is Real Madrid are quite like England actually. They don't lie down even if they're not on top in the game. They know they're going to win.
Yeah,
and their heads don't drop. And that's why I think you can see that from the Real Madrid players. But that's what surprised me about England. When we've conceded in the past, and I've said it this tournament, when we've conceded, I was like, it's over, because I'm used to that being over for England. Heads drop, we don't play as well, we scrap to get back in the game, it doesn't happen. This team have got a mentality of, no, we can get back into it.
Yeah.
That being said, Spain are a very, 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 very good side. It's going to be a very difficult match.
Extremely good side.
But it's another final, and I'm taking this sort of thing, like, from a perspective of, like, family, like, getting these finals with family about and friends about, it doesn't happen very often. You never know what's going to be your last sort of tournament with people and things like that. And getting to finals, just in the finals alone, you've got those memories. So yeah.
Also, if we do win it, it looks like we might get a bank holiday.
Yeah, I'm not working the Monday anyway. I was like, oh no. But yes. Let's get into the Sheffield Wednesday part. There you go. There's your timestamp.
Oh, people apparently have been missing people have been missing the housery that because I've not done it for ages. The housery towards other clubs. So because Ollie Watkins has been talked about, did you know that in 2017 Derby County pulled out of signing Ollie Watkins so they could get David Nugent, and that of course really did prove to be a long-term wonderful signing decision for them, didn't it? Look how that turned out.
You don't like
how are you doing there, post Mel? Oh no, I don't. With all the stick that they were giving us when we went down, I think it's only fair to give them stick now. As much as I dish it out,
weird, actually, let's start talking about Wednesday news in this thing. Then we'll link it to that. A weird move for Wildsmith to go to West Brom as a number 2. That for me. I'm like, yeah, it's obviously a great club and you've got ambitions, but the thing is, it might be the money, but he'd finally become a number 1 he won the bloody Golden Glove, and maybe he backs himself to become the number 1 at West Brom, but it's like, why wouldn't you go where you know you're going to be the number 1? Right, Cam's gone to Rotherham, right? He knows he's going to be the number 1.
Allegedly, and I say this allegedly because it's rumors that are like somewhat backed up by somewhat sort of insider official sources, whatever. Allegedly, Joe Wildsmith wanted double his wage at Derby once they got promoted. He wanted to double it, not just a percentage increase like you normally get with a promotion clause or whatever. He wanted to double it off the back of that League One Golden Glove and stuff, and Derby couldn't pay that because of their EFL situation.
At the end of the day, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. It's interesting that he's gone to West Brom, though, considering that they're under a lot of slack and have been a lot of flack, recently. From DFL and stuff.
But they got new ownership middle of January last year.
Right.
They got a takeover, so it's new ownership. So it's like trying to build new bridges. And if you actually look at what West Brom did last season, they weren't that far off, kind of thing. I reckon they're a couple of signings away from building a really good squad. It's like John Swift, who were part of their midfield, had just left them. So it's interesting how many clubs have got like a big rebuild going on.
It's interesting because it's like the one thing you think, do West Brom think they're going to lose? Because I don't think they would actually, because they loaned out Griffiths again, but they've got the championship Golden Glove winner in Palmer. Yeah. So that's why it's like either they think they might lose him, if a club comes in for him in the Prem and takes a gamble on him, and that's why they bring Wildsmith in.
I wonder if that's what the case is. I wonder if they know there's a big coming in.
Yeah. It'll be from like an Ipswich or from, a relegation scrap team or something like that up in the Prem, possibly, that'll be wanting him, I think.
Yeah, that could happen. Either way, obviously he's making moves. It's good to see academy products get places in their career. It's just I didn't want to go and see him be a number 2 somewhere. I want former Wednesday players that have had that. I want, that's the thing. We very rarely talk about ex-players, but players that was with us for that much time. You want.
Look at Delhi. Yeah. Delhi's gone to Lazio for 5 million roughly, which is insane. And if you
that's
think
more
about,
of a case of we should have done something with that. Whilst we've not necessarily, I don't think we should really.
No, it was the right time for him to go.
Fussed. Yeah. Right. Let's get into the news. So there's been talk this week about staff contract length, etc. There's about a year left on each of the staff, so it's going to be a case of probably a season by season with the Wednesday staff. But Chris Powell did an interview of the day of recording this podcast and things like that. So the staff have got at least another year and they're looking to build on it. How are you feeling with the coaching setup going into the new season, Jake?
I think it just makes sense with not bothering to get an extension, because if Danny wants them there, they'll sign. They'll sign up to another year. I think they understand the project. They understand what the goal is. And I think they all knew the big thing with keeping Danny. We can get our stuff sorted at the end of the year, like everyone else. He's added in another technical analyst as well, which is good. And that looks like it can be the only person we're adding to the coaching setup. And don't change what we got working, kind of thing. If you need to add a little bit to it, then great. I think if they're going to be on rolling contracts, it makes sense, because then it's easier. If you have the only issue you've got, if someone looks at Henrik and goes, I want you to be a manager again, you haven't got much wiggle room to go, I want you to stay for the next 6 months. You go, well, they want me for this amount and I'm done. That's the only issue you've got. You don't have much security there, but I think it makes more sense to have the players, have the coaching staff on these deals for now, and then maybe halfway through the season start looking at getting them extended one by one.
Yeah, I can't disagree with anything you said there. Anything to add, Jack?
I just personally think that it's Jake's just summed it up really. I think the staff will stick around as long as Danny wants them to. Because they've all clearly bought in. They all clearly love it here now. We've seen that in the sort of insider training footage of Hendrik, and we've seen it in interviews, both by the club and by other sources, that Chris Powell absolutely adores it here. And I can't see them really moving on unless Danny or the chairman doesn't want them to stick around anymore. And I just think and also Chansiri, I believe, favours a rolling contract with staff members wherever he can. So I guess that just fits what.
Talking inside training, I love watching inside training because you get an insight of coaches. But Danny looks so much more at him this time than the other ones in the past.
Yeah,
but you can tell.
If you watch that interview with Staten, if you watch the interview with Staten, he talks about. He doesn't believe in rest and stuff. No. He doesn't believe in there's no time to rest sort of thing. He does say that players need rest in certain spaces, but
3-hour training sessions at the minute.
Yeah.
an hour and a half. He says as Windass says, he says they're an hour and a half, but it turned into 3 hours.
But what I love the fact that you can tell who got what role. So you got Powell, who's like the matey mate with Tomo, but you can tell Henrik and Danny are the enforcers. And if someone does something wrong and Henrik sees it, he's on them. I would hate to have him be the one that's telling me I've done something wrong, because he looked like he would destroy you in a nice way to build your confidence back up.
Yeah, I know.
I saw rumors on Twitter that they were basically taking bets on seeing which players would pass out and vomit first. On that day when they were running around the doing all the tests and stuff, fitness tests after the break. They were literally like having bets with one another about who was going to pass out and vomit first out of all the play. And it was so funny seeing the photos coming out as well of like, there was Kadamatri who looked like he wanted to die. And then there was Wilkes who looked like he wanted to die. And a few of the others were just, it was so funny.
Wilkes looked decent, and that goal he got versus Alfreton Town was decent.
Oh yeah.
It's one of those things. If Danny can sort of like have a pre-season with Wilkes, it's the last roll of the dice on Wilkes, isn't it? Really,
it is.
So let's see. He's not shipped him out.
I hope for the player it works.
Those insider training videos, we need more of them. They need to be longer. We need more like stuff like that.
I don't want longer ones. I want them with this amount that they've put out is good, because you don't want to show too much.
Or at least personality of the players, like more stuff with the players.
You might get more when they're in Germany.
Their personalities and stuff like that,
You might get more when they're in Germany.
Yeah.
Footballers' personalities.
Yeah.
You watch some of the England camp stuff.
Oh, well.
I'm like, oh my God.
Well, you've got Jude in the England camp. You've got Jude Bellingham that was refusing to be subbed off the other day, if you remember that.
No, he wasn't refusing.
That's not what happened.
No, that's not what happened. The wrong number went up.
Oh, right.
He looked at the bench, said that I'm not coming off. It's not me. They got the wrong number. He knew they had the wrong number.
Right.
That wasn't him refusing. That wasn't him refusing.
I thought it was him doing a Kepper from the other year, where it was like, no, not me, no.
No, he's not. That was the case. The wrong number went up.
Oh, cheers, third official or fourth official. Sorry. Yeah, good job.
Yeah, no, it was a planned sub, and I think obviously they know usually what the sub situation is going to be. So with he'd have known that as well. Let's move to Jack's favourite topic, Deshaun Bernard. He's like, he'll just put his side now. There's a bit of an update from Roll speaking to the Star, and the quote reads from the article as followed. In terms of, this is referring to the centre-back position. It's still a position we are looking in. Dish was in the tournament, Copa America, which makes him a little bit different to other players. You want to let them have the focus for the tournament, and now we are seeing what we can do. It's always from both sides. It's not just about the dream. We have to find a way. If we can do it, then it would be a very good option to take him. He was a big part of the last season for me and the team, but again, we have to work behind the scenes. You have seen how we bring players in every week. Players, let's have a look. So, I've read between the lines on this, and the more things I hear about it, Jack, it seems like this is potentially going to happen, which didn't look likely at the start of the summer.
Oh, sorry, was that your cue? Yeah,
your
sorry.
name's Jack.
I thought because you didn't. I had such a brain dead moment when you were like, because you didn't directly say, "What do you think, Jack?" I was like, oh, I thought you were just addressing me and what I've thought before, but no.
Come on, dial up internet.
Sorry, dial up internet in my head again. Bloody hell. If it happens, great. And frankly, you're both missing a trick here. You're missing out on so much prime content real estate. The whole, when Jake had that whole summer saga of will Malik Wilkes sign or won't he? Will Deshaun Bernard re-sign or won't he?
It's a little bit different when it's a player we've already had.
Yeah, but it's just like, I'm sort of in the mindset of just bloody get it done. Like there's other players that have been out doing things and they've got re-signed. To an extent, I understand and I think, yes, re-sign him because clearly he showed his quality for us. I know Jake's trying to trump me now. That's what he's thinking about right now.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out who's in that situation. The only one I can think with Windass got married. No one else had a tournament.
Well, yeah, that's what I was on about. That Windass has got married and he's sorted it out.
Yeah, but there's a difference. One got married and had
reading between the lines as well. Windass just paid when he talks about the business side of it. We knew all along it was contract or money. It was one of those things or both of those things. It's literally Yeah,
but I just sort of think like, yes, he's shown that he's quality and that he's good enough and whatever, but there are other options that we can explore, I believe, that are just as good as Deshaun Bernard. And I just sort of think that we need to make sure, just like we've shown a sort of ruthlessness in the willingness to let Will Volks go, I think we need to be prepared to just say, right, okay, Deshaun, you did a good job for us last year, but you're taking way too long to make a decision now.
I don't think that's the case. I actually don't think that's the case. I think this one you actually go with the more sensible thing. He's had a tournament. He hasn't had a break yet. He's back home. Let him get his fitness up outside of it and then go from there. Because I think if you go with that, it's time to decide now. I understand wanting to get it done, but when he's had a tournament, you need to let him have a little bit of that time because he's going to be one of the players who doesn't have any break this football when he comes back. So I think it makes more sense to give him time. If we can get a deal done, great. It's best for all parties. But we knew in the summer this one was going to be a difficult one because there were quotes coming out that were rumoured quotes that he wants to play in a higher division or higher style of football. What we've known and what we've seen is Danny can convince people to come and play at this club. And he can do well and say, look what we built on before. This is what we're doing. But if Danny can't do that, he's willing to go, right, I'll just go to my next target. Look at how many targets we missed out on in January because of where we were. Imagine if those players stayed or tried to come in January and we stayed up, how much some of them might be kicking themselves where they might have agents going, oh, you were interested in January, and Danny going, well, I don't want you now.
Yeah, there's going to be that side of it. Some players will be quality enough that Danny will be like, yeah, sure, I'll understand and come back in for you sort of thing. But some would be out of luck, basically. But yeah, I think this could happen. I think it's looking likely that it happens. I think we're still weak in that area.
Are we?
I think it's an area we definitely need to be capitalising on because you need a defence to push on. I'm kind of a believer of we need to do things quickly with Danny because, but we need to make sure that I really hope the luck falls for us in the next couple of years and we manage to do a push for promotion sort of thing because managers, obviously he could fall off, you never know, but like managers of certain ilk, like they won't be around forever at the club.
They have ambition. And if you don't,
if our ambition can stay with the manager, that's where we can go. You know, it's going to be a big season ahead in a lot of things. But keeping your best players has to be alongside of it. And Bernard is one of the first names on the team sheet. You know, so he hopefully he does re-sign. That would be a great situation for us. Looking towards continuing this rebuild, so to speak, we're going to read an article from the Star here that says Sheffield Wednesday pursuing deal for former Chelsea midfielder to continue the summer rebuild. Sheffield Wednesday's work in the summer transfer window is by no means over, and now they're after former Chelsea midfielder Nathaniel Chalobah. The 29-year-old is currently a free agent after leaving West Bromwich Albion, and as a defensive midfielder, it is a role that the Owls are in the process of trying to fill. It is thought that Chalobah, who came through the youth ranks at Chelsea and has also played for the likes of Watford and Fulham, is a target for Danny Rull as a new addition, and the hope is they're able to fend off the undoubted options that he has elsewhere in order to get him on board. Chalobah has a wealth of experience at this level, having made over 200 appearances in the Championship over the course of his career, but he also has 50 Premier League appearances to his name, as well as a senior England cap, a cameo in the win over the Spain in 2018. It remains to be seen how far down the line the Owls' interest is at this point. However, the former Napoli loanee will no doubt be seen as an exciting potential option if they are able to get the deal done that would see him make the switch to South Yorkshire. Jake, we're doing a football manager rebuild. Nathaniel Chalobah. People are going, we're going to pay him a fortune sort of thing. No, he's a free agent. It's not worked at West Brom. No. I think it won't be a fortune, to be honest. I think it'll be a really shrewd signing. But what about you?
I think this would be very smart. He's a player we looked at last year and missed out on him.
A lot of that's happening.
Yeah, it seems like some of the players that we missed out on last time were kind of like, we want you to come, but we can't figure out either a deal or the gaffer back then couldn't convince you.
Or no manager at that point.
Or no manager at that point. Yeah, good point. And the thing with this one, he's a big upgrade on Volks. He's more physical, which Volks wasn't. And I think we've missed that kind of physical Semedo role where that person can just break the play up. And much of Volks were good at it. I think you need someone as a kind of build and height to be able to do it effectively. And
he's a proper CDM.
Yeah. He's not,
which is what we need.
He's not a makeshift. His job is CDM between defence and midfield. He's the one that breaks it all up. This will be a very shrewd signing if we pull it off. I've seen people go, why are West Brom letting him go? Then it's like, sometimes it doesn't work. Like, there's been a lot of like signing where we got like free agents, but why do they not want him? It's like, just because it's not worked there doesn't mean it's going to work here. It's a low risk signing with high reward. 29.
Depending on the wage packet, it becomes low risk and contract length. Obviously, there's risk with any signing sort of like this, but he's a good age. He's got a market value of 1.2 million euros. He was worth 7 million euros apparently back in 2018. Let's look at his career in terms of transfers, though. So this is all in euros, which is a bit annoying. But Watford, he moved from Watford to Chelsea. Oh, no, sorry. There was a loan fee. So he went on loan for 2 million. There was a 2 million loan fee involved in that when he went to Watford back in 2012, 2013. And then there was a loan fee for Nottingham Forest, 4 million. Yeah, the 4 million loan fee. And then Middlesbrough paid the same for him after that in 13, 14. So he's done a lot of fee. Oh, no, it's his market value. Why does that not just say fee? Ignore me. It was his market value. I'm reading the wrong thing. Basically, I read it backwards.
Well, I have to post in the document something for you that might make anyone who's doing a career mode happy.
Yeah, we'll do that in a second. But yeah, no, that was his market value. So he started at 2 million and he rose through the ranks to 4 million for many years. And then his highest market value was in 2018 at 7 million euros there. He actually went to Watford permanently in 2017-18 for 6.3 million euros. So he's then moved on. It was an undisclosed fee when he went to West Brom, but West Brom paid something for him.
Yep.
So his
probably
market
why
value
we
dropped.
didn't get him.
Yes. Yeah. But he's not.
He played.
Yes, he's got the. I'll do the EFC card you've just put in the document, Jake. He's got a 71 rated silver, 55 pace, 60 one shooting, 66 passing, 71 dribbling, 69 defending, 72 physical. What I'm more sort of, it's nice to be linked with players you've actually heard of. I understand why you'd be slightly worried about his sort of fall off at West Brom and West Brom fans not being too complimentary about him. But sometimes we know this, it doesn't work at specific clubs.
No.
For whatever reason.
To be fair, they're still not happy that they got Adam Reach still.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. I can't believe we paid that for him and then let him go on a free, but it happens. Actually, I can because Wednesday are in a state at this time. But what are you thinking about Chalobah, Jack?
I think he's ideal. I mean, he's the ideal Volks replacement because he's got all the qualities that Volks had, plus the physicality that Jake mentioned, and plus I think he's got a few more ideas in terms of how he can see passages of play going forwards. I think Volks was good at winning the ball back or whatever, but I don't think he quite had the imagination anymore going forwards to play around a midfield, to set up attacking moves and that sort of thing. But I think Chalobah could bring a lot more of that to the game, and I think possibly that's why Danny might have said yes. you've been a good servant to us at Wednesday, but Oxford's more the ideal place for you because they've got Cameron Brannigan that can sort of play alongside him and do a similar sort of thing. Whereas I think with the system Danny wants, it's just going to be the one like anchor man that Chalobah might suit quite well. And I just think that it's that sort of attacking nous that he might have above Will Volks. That obviously
I think he'll play. I think
what Danny wants to do.
I think what we'll probably do is we'll play him next to Barry, but he'll be literally like
he'll drop deeper.
He'll be the ball winner that drops deeper, and Bannon will go box to box, and then we'll play a 10 in front of him. I think that's what we'll do.
It depends who plays that 10, because where do you put like Windass? Where do you put Ingleson and stuff like that?
There's a squad in it, Jake. They don't all play at once.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. We have not been used to having this many options in a long time.
We also don't know about the new players if they're going to work out.
It?
So you need, yeah, but I still think it's one of those things where, like Windass's deal, for example. Windass for me, the good thing is about where we are is Windass isn't the first name on the team sheet. I'm not saying if depending on some of the players that we've got, if we sign Poveda, the likes of that, I'm like, do I always start Windass over them? No, probably not. But he's a good option now. We've got a squad that's there. I think potentially if he's on good money and Len Rule really wanted him and the Lentz Rule ended up going to secure a deal for Windass, he probably does rate him a bit higher than that. But
if you want an interesting, one right now, if you're looking at players and what we're doing is, at the moment, Beadle's 19, Valerie 25, Iorford 29, Bernardi 23 if he signed, Diaby 26, Lowe 27, Banham 34, Ingleson 26, Windass 30, Lowe 29, Cadamartri 19. The average age of the squad currently 26. And then that's not including
which is
the
sort of prime becoming age is what you want. So I think in terms of Chalobah, we don't need to worry about, because usually when you're getting players at this stage, you're going, have they got injuries and things like that? You play 30, 33. There's two different figures. It's 33 or 36 times for West Brom last season, right?
Yeah.
But he played a lot, so we've got a player that's coming in that's going to be available. And I'll be honest, like, I liked Volks a lot, but when we got to the championship, he won player of the year, right? So who am I to say anything? But like, I still just felt like there was more we could do in that position. And hopefully someone like Chalobah can offer more. Because if you remember, when we brought Diaby on, he looked like the player we wanted, Yeah. And I think
all of that
Chalobah,
60 minute spell versus Preston, he was fantastic.
Yeah. And hopefully Chalobah's more like that performance we saw there. For Wednesday.
I think Volks had to fit into that performance, and I think it was a case of it wasn't Volks' natural role, but like Danny said, he changed things to make things work, and he's not having to do that this year. He can put it how he wants it.
Yeah, it'd be a great signing. Let's do it. Let's not go stupid with it. 2-year deal sort of thing. Build on that.
Yeah.
He signed an 18-month contract for West Brom, so a 2-year deal is probably likely if it goes through. Let's see how that one develops. In terms of transfers, this is from Mike McGrath on Twitter. Sheffield Wednesday have made an opening bid for Troyes forward Ugbo, who was at Hillsborough last season on loan and scored 7 in 17 starts to help the club stay in the Championship. Other second-tier clubs seriously interested and watched by Premier League clubs. So, wheels have started turning a lot more on Ugbo. Jack, is it happening?
I think it is, personally. I mean, it all depends on how the negotiations from the club side go, because I can't see Ugbo having many issues with personal terms with the club, because, I mean, he made a whole video, like, professionally edited, dedicated to his time at Wednesday and everything, and how Wednesday players that were here and played with him last season were all saying, "Where are you?" And, in the comments of his Instagram posts and stuff like that. And you should be here and we'll see you soon and all that sort of stuff. And I just think it's all a case of let's make sure that the City group don't mess us around too much. I was about to say a swear word to do with mess around, but I won't. But yeah, let's just hope that the City Group, who own Troyes, don't decide to mess us around too much, because of course we all know that the charges of alleged financial wrongdoing that are hanging over their flagship club, Man City, and they will need to be milking every possible revenue avenue that they possibly can. Ugbo being one of them, because they've realised, he actually did a really good job for them last season.
It doesn't work like that. Could be a separate club. It'll be completely separate. Even though if they're in the group, even if they're in the City Group, Man City is separate to Troyes.
But
however,
Troyes is also struggling because they just got relegated.
will have to balance, Troyes will have to balance their books. So
that's
there
why
is
they'll
that
be,
side of it.
Milking every possible avenue they can anyway.
They already have done, because they've already done a deal on a winger who's gone to Lille, I think. And originally, I think his value was 2.5 and he'd gone to like 3.6, maybe pushing 4 million. So they already have done. The issue they got is they're going to play semi-professional football, so they need as many people off the books as humanly possible. With Ugbo being quite high up on the wage list, they're going to want to get it done quickly. Now, the issue you've got with this for me is that we need to be in there quickly and fast and make sure we don't mess them about. I know you're talking about saying let Troy not mess us about, but we can't mess them about as well. We've got to have this right. I suspect that personal terms are already agreed and it's all just waiting on their feet.
I really hope it's one of the ones that we can push through before we go to Germany.
If that's the case, it needs to be done Monday.
Yeah.
And I have a funny feeling that's the time I think they want it to be done, if they can get it done. At the end of the day, you look at that record, seven goals in 17, that is fantastic. Your issue is if someone like a Brentford suddenly say, hey, we need a striker, this is going to be cheap, it's the money ball situation, they come in.
That's why you need to pull it. It needs to happen. It needs to happen before England get back. Because the thing is, if the wheels on Tony move, like I don't think Ugbo would. That's my issue. I don't think Brentford will replace Tony with Ugbo. To be honest, but to be fair,
I don't think he will. But I think it's the kind of signing they would look at.
If you move before a tournament ends, then usually you're in a better position because the players that have featured in the tournament that have caught the eye, they're the ones that the wheels really start moving on afterwards. So the transfer window is about to ramp up massively next week because the players will be coming back from tournaments. All of the players will be pretty much back. It'll be a case of, right, let's do the business here. Let's get players through sort of thing. Ugbo wants to come. The deal's got to be right. I reckon if the reported fee of like 2.5 million is there, that's the sort of thing that's rumoured at the minute. That's fantastic. Pay 2.5 million, get him through the door. In my opinion,
not going to happen.
Do you not think it will?
It's not going to be 2.5 million. Not a chance.
Why?
I think this is going to be more pushing on close to 3.5.
Well, that's fine.
Generally, I generally think it's going to be a bit more than 2.
The ceiling for me would be around 3.5. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the highest we go is 3.5. If they want any more, I think we walk away and look at other targets. As much as we want him, and Danny.
For me, I'd say 2.5 with add-ons. To be honest.
Yeah, it's I can see them being bad with the negotiations. I can see them trying to get as much money out of it as possible, and I get that.
Yeah.
Maybe you do 3 with it raising to 3.5 over saying if we get to the Prem or something like that. You put an option in like that to do it, or there's a sell-on fee. That's the way you kind of go.
What we need at the minute is we need the journalists to dig as hard as they can in terms of like what we've currently spent. It'd be really interesting for us to find, like because we spent 1.6.
We've
tried to dig as well, but like,
well, Valerie
in terms of specific deals,
million.
In specific deal, Valerie 1.6 is the alleged rumor, is it?
Yeah. The alleged rumour we spent 1.6 million on Valerie.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot more than because it was reported about 500k.
Yeah, French media said we given them €2 million, which equate to 1.6 million, and it kind of put to bed this whole thing of Chansiri's not going to spend that much. Chansiri, if you actually notice what Chansiri's doing, what Danny wants, Danny getting within reason. With most of the targets he wanted, they're coming straight away. And the thing is, I think you get Ugbo in, he then turn and say, what can you do in the loan market next? Because I think that's where you go next. You wait until all the Prem teams have got all the players back from European competition, and that's where you pick up, say, a Prem midfielder on loan or something of that nature, like Peter Harris, who we've looked at. That's where they start.
Harris.
Yeah, I can never say his name right. Shock horror, punk can't speak. But here.
Oh no, but Jake, can't you remember? No. Chansiri's got no money. The club's got no money. The club can't spend anything. We're running out of money. Chansiri's ran out of money. Don't you remember?
Ike Ugbo, first bid has been made. Let us know what you think about it in the comments.
Everyone on Twitter thinks the Chansiri's run out of money. Oh no.
Is Scott Wright happening? Yes or no, Jake?
No.
Cool.
I think I don't think it was happening. I think it was put in by someone. Maybe agent talk. If this does happen, I'm gonna have egg on my face, but it seems like it's all gone very, very quiet.
I think the dead giveaway when someone, I believe one of the journalists at Owls in the Park directly asked Danny about Scott Wright, and he literally laughed at them. Do you remember that? One of the journalists name dropped Scott Wright, and he literally had to stop himself laughing. And to me, it just feels like a desperate agent that really, really wants his client to move on to another club. And I don't see it because he's.
Right, I've got a question for you two, actually. Not in the document. Poveda, yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, too injury prone for me, I'm afraid.
I can see both sides. He's not wrong, James.
Way too injury prone.
James, every loan spell he's had an injury issue.
Yeah.
Right, but the yes is if Danny can get him fully fit and in a pre-season, he should
not even that. Right.
Be able to sort it.
My argument with this, we are not at the level where a player like that, who is fully fit all the time, is coming to Sheffield Wednesday. Right? So if you want that quality of player, you bring them in on a free transfer, mind. You bring them in knowing they've got the injury record, and hopefully you can get 3/4 of the season out of them, because that is the position we are in. If we were a top 6 side, yes, I could see it. But where we currently are, a player of that quality, fully fit, stays at Leeds and gets them promoted. You know? So I think where we are, that's why
make sure
you
the
do
deal's
so.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not saying like throw a 3-year contract with like 25. I know he's swore on the podcast as well. With 25 grand a week there. I'm not saying that, but you don't get those kind of players with their injury, without an injury record. It's sort of like, do you think Windass would not be higher up if he was fully fit?
Yeah, true. I think
argue,
the issue
on the other side of the coin here is you could argue we've signed Max Lowe, who was a Premier League starter pretty much week upon week for Sheffield United. And yes, granted, they got relegated, whatever, but he was injury prone. Was he? Are you sure?
Yeah, he didn't have many games up at Sheffield United.
Poveda is 24 as well, lads. It's one of those things where like he could still be in a situation where the best is yet. Look at like,
you know what? He's the Sam Hutchinson.
Look at Hutchinson. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look at Hutchinson.
Yeah. It's the same thing. In a Wednesday shirt, always turn up. The thing is, if you actually look at our attacking options, if we can get a right deal for him and it gets sort of fantastic, Danny has said players that have been at Wednesday last season want to come back. That is his words. Let's see. It has gone quiet, but there might be reasons why it's gone quiet.
Look, here's the thing. He's out of contract. It's a free deal. It would make sense. You start cautious. You do a 2-year deal with a 1-year option or something. He's on less than 15 a week sort of thing, or whatever our pay structure is now. I assume it's probably around the 10. That's what I think it's, for our better players sort of thing. You put clauses in there. You see things there. He met in 22-23. Yeah. All right. He made 24 appearances for Blackpool on loan. if we can get 25, 30 appearances out of him over the course of our season, I'm all right with that, personally.
And if you actually look at what his injuries that were, a lot of them have been ankle injuries. So broken ankle injury Leeds. And I think he had a couple of hamstring strains at us and Blackpool.
Yeah.
And if it's hamstring,
he's still at an age where he can develop, and that's the thing. You're getting a player in with that sort of potential. So I just think writing him off because of his injury record at this stage is crazy, to be honest. Sorry, Jack.
But also, how much of that is rose-tinted nostalgia goggles because he did so well on his loan spell when he did play for us last season?
Literally last season, Jack.
I know, but you've got to be...
Literally last season. It's not like, he did it ages. It's not like a Ben Marshall back in 1946 did fantastic on loan for us, so let's bring him in 2024.
You're definitely letting rose-tinted nostalgia goals cover your eyes, just like a lot of other fans have done. A lot of fans have been signing based on nostalgia and, it was great vibes when he was here. He put an owl in his bio. We love him, yeah. But look at his injury record, long term.
He's 24 as well. So you look at his injury sort of thing. Right, yeah, fair enough.
Take that aspect of the nostalgia out of it.
Let me finish. No. I'm not talking about the injury. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that he actually probably would have been played more because what happens to a young player when they do get a knock, they don't get back in the side. They had their chance and then they don't get back in. So then they have to wait for their opportunity again. Whereas if you get a player that is experienced, say you've got a 26, 27-year-old player that's got that experience, they get an injury, they're straight back in the side, Jack. Straight back in when they get fit. Whereas the clubs he's been at, you think about Leeds where they were, he's gone on loan, he's actually performed on loan. But when he was at Leeds during one of their most successful times. He was a player for the future. He picks up a knock. He ain't getting straight back in that Leeds side. So I think it's a circumstantial situation with Poveda, and he's a free.
But with who we've also signed now to be wingers, to be the central attacking midfielders, he won't get straight back in our side if he gets injured again.
He's still a free. And he does. By the way, Poveda was the best player on the pitch for Wednesday last season when he was on the pitch. He walks into that side if he's fit.
Well, I'm glad I brought this up. It's been an interesting topic.
That side, maybe not this side that Danny's building. We're going based on last season again. Not looking at players that we have signed for to compete with
in this
him
league under this
in
manager.
Those positions.
Yes, we don't know about them.
Let's
say we play say we play as an Ingleson as a 10, right? Have you seen Ingleson perform for Sheffield Wednesday on a consistent basis in the Championship for 5 appearances?
Look at the team that he played for last time. He was playing at a higher what you could argue is a higher standard than what Wednesday is.
Is that Sheffield Wednesday under Danny Rule? Because Jan Poveda is a player that is an example of a player that has played well under this manager.
Yeah, but look at the players around him.
Oh my! What do you mean? Look at the players around him. We were terrible last season.
An okay player will always look way better in a team of players surrounding him that are not nearly as good, and a lot of them have gone.
So your argument makes very little sense because the problem is right.
No, it doesn't. The standard has gone up. The standard has gone up from last year.
So what you're saying?
So what I'm saying is Poveda won't walk back into the side.
No, so what you're saying is the players that have come in, if like he was looking better in reflection to those players, then won't he'd be on more of a par with these players, and won't those better players, the other side of the argument, Jack, won't they get the most out of him when he's actually getting passed to and they're getting in better positions for him to actually play his game more, and he's not having to put the team on his back?
Well, maybe, but he's still got his big long injury record. And if you take out the fact
this bloody injury record.
On the injury record, it's hamstrings. If it's hamstrings, it means he's not played enough football and it's cold. And not playing enough football.
That's why the one thing that concerns me He should have been in now. We should have got it done early so he could be on this preseason.
Yeah,
that's the thing that's concerning me about it. Because now it's a case of like, if he gets a preseason of Danny Röhl and he gets that fitness level under him, that's the thing he needs. I would be a bit concerned if we're dragging our heels on it, because then he doesn't have the preseason. He is more likely to get hamstring problems, things like that over the course of the season, because he's not bedded in the work now. So yes, that's where I sit on the other side of it, but it's still a no-brainer. I'm surprised. And look at Windass. Again, my argument is Windass. Look, between Windass and Poveda, we might get a full season out of the players if we play them in the same position, all right? So half a season out of Windass, half a season out of Poveda. There you go, Jack.
There you go.
That was fun.
It's going to be a great breakout.
Oh, no, that's definitely a breakout.
Glad I am now.
Yeah.
I just really wasn't expecting him to say that, right? I was like,
gotta throw a curveball in there somewhere, you know? It's never fun if it's just an echo chamber all the time.
No, it's true, but also I didn't expect it to be moronic, right? Yeah. We're going to have to compose ourselves because we're going to get ranty in a second as well for this topic, right? This is from the Wednesday website. The Owls are giving supporters a final opportunity to commit to 24-25 season tickets at current prices for an additional week. Prices were due to increase today, Monday the 8th of July, when this was posted, but following requests from fans, they would allow a little more time to purchase. The deadline will now be midnight on the 15th of July. Amazing. Guys, go and do that, because then you can get an average ticket price of £30 a game if you buy a season ticket. Because guess what? If you buy it on the day, guess what the prices are going to be? Category A, you know Leeds that's on TV, right? If you want to sit in the South Stand, £54, Category A. So I'll read you the COP prices. So Category A games on the COP for an adult will be 45, Category B 42, Category C 39, Category D 36, Category E 33, Category F 30. On the North Stand / Grandstand, adult tickets in Category A are 50, 47 Category B, 44 Category C, 41 Category D, 38 Category E, and 35 Category F. And then the most expensive stand, the South Stand, £54 for Category A games, 51 for Category B, 48 for Category C, 45 for Category D, 42 for Category E, and F is £39. It's just
while you were talking about this, I was laughing because Jake and I were having a full-on like scrap in text messages over all of this. And Jake was borderline defending it, and that's not defending
I am
it.
Not defending
go ahead then, Jake.
I'm not defending it. What I was saying to Jack was, overheads, everything got up. Why were we expecting it to be any cheaper? He never made it cheaper. I don't understand this logic where people were expecting it to be cheaper. Look at where the season ticket prices were. They were never going to go down. It was only going to go up. I think when you look at match day tickets, you're thinking, paying stewards, you're paying for catering, you're paying for this, you're paying for ground staff, it's those kind of things. Everything's gone up. Why do people automatically think that because it's a football club, nothing's gone up? Everything's gone up. Granted, we shouldn't take the brunt of it. There should be sponsorship and stuff like that to do it, which we're not doing, and that's the failing on the club. But at the same time, why do everyone expect it to be what it was? This is what I don't get.
Guys, it's not gone up.
It's cheaper. It's gone down.
It's cheaper. It's gone down.
Yeah. And I said this to Jack. It's like, no, it's not. Like, it's gone down.
It's still ridiculous. Don't get me wrong, but they've gone down.
It's still a ridiculous price, and it has gone down. Here's the thing. We're complaining about this, right? Leeds United are complaining that they're the 37 quid now. I'd love ours to be 37 quid.
Do you know the thing is, though, when we talk about it going down, it's the South Stand mainly.
Yeah.
So the South Stand has gone down from £59 on Category A to £54. The COPs stayed the same, and that's the problem because that's your entry, right?
Yeah.
The COPs actually gone up for some categories. Category A has stayed at 45 quid. Category B last season was 42. It's 42 still. Category C last season was 39. It's 39 still. Category D, 36. It stayed at 36. Category E has actually stayed at 33. But we had a category G last season.
Yeah,
we don't have that anymore. They've got rid of that, and that's the thing.
This is what I want. Grab the categories, a flat 35 quid across the board, done. And have it set. 35 quid for away, 35 quid for home. Then you don't price anyone out.
Mate, but the problem with that is if you're looking at that, they're never going to do that because the category is that would be between category D and E for every single game, so it's not going to happen. It's a ridiculous pricing structure because the thing is, I feel it more from a perspective now, right? I'm looking at games. I'm trying to come up with a schedule for the podcast. What am I going to go and cover in the stadium? What am I going to do that? I live in the Northeast at the minute, right? Mm. Probably won't forever sort of thing. I like to move around. I'm going to have to travel as people are. And this is more of a personal perspective now because everybody sees it from their own perspective. I go, right, I want to go to the Leeds game, even though it's on Sky. I'm going to go to the Leeds game, even though it's on Sky. Because I want to go to the Leeds game, even though it's on Sky, and they've made it category A.
Yeah.
Why have they made it category A? So if I want to sit in the South, which to be honest, I've been sitting in the South a little bit recently. I'm like,
54 quid.
Never used to sit here. Good view, like this. 54 quid.
Yeah. I don't understand category A game for when it's a guy game. Surely you make that your cheapest to get more people.
But then I'm paying a fortune in fuel on top of that to get to the game. Parking, whatever. I'm quite lucky in parking situations, but sort of like all of that. And the fact it's been moved to a Friday.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's a Friday fixture now, and I've got to deal with that side of it. And it's a home game that becomes more of an away game, basically. And they've moved it to a Friday night, and it's on Sky, and it's category A. It's ridiculous in terms of that. But go on, Jack. What was your side of it with Jake then?
Well, mine was just that how it's mainly the outrage of how can you justify putting the prices up that high? Like, yes, there are overheads. You don't normally put that to this extent on a fan base. Like, you get, like Jake was saying there about the sponsorships and stuff, you get the money that comes in from sponsorships to help ease those overheads so you don't have to price so many people out.
Yeah.
Like, the GDP of Sheffield is not the same as what it is in London, but for some reason, the club can't see that. The club are doing it as though it was bloody Fulham or somebody like that, and it's not. Well,
do you know what's
that.
quite crazy? Like, this is in terms of the general inflation. Everyone's going, "Oh, it's inflation." The reason we're feeling it, I was watching something the other day. Like food, and for example, food has actually gone up quite a few percent over inflation. So things are going up over the levels of inflation. So
that's why people
that's so they don't have to do it again, you'd think, right? In a few years, they can keep prices plateauing. But we have all been hitting the pocket and we're feeling it harder because of that. And
if you look at, like, say, a kitchen, when they get hit with a price increase on their ingredients, it goes on the set menus. And normally they do price of per head. And it feels like they do price of per head on people instead of just the general price structure.
It's just a case of like right now. So if I want to make this viable, if say I want to go to, because I want to go to as many games as possible, but man, I'm like, as I said, I moved up. I had to take less work when I moved up here, sort of thing in the temporary. I'm in a situation where I'm not going to be able to go to as much, that sort of thing. And it's not like, oh, woe is me sort of thing. Everyone's got their priorities and you prioritize life, and football is like, something that you have to make a decision on. But it's crazy that I could go to so many other clubs and justify the spend because the tickets are 30 odd quid. They are 20 something quid. And that makes more sense because then I'd be paying the price for a ticket. I'd be paying for fuel there and back. I'd be paying for food all in that £54. you know.
Do you think the league game is a Cat A because it's a rivalry? Because you look at the opening game, that's a Cat D.
Yeah,
and
but
that's
it
your
shouldn't
opening
be.
game.
It shouldn't be when it's on Sky. That's the problem I've got. If you've got TV money coming,
no,
it shouldn't be Cat A.
No. Plymouth game's on Sky.
No, but that's what I'm saying. They're moving it to an A for a category, but it should not be allowed to be a Cat A.
No. What I'm saying is they put Plymouth as a Cat D and it's on Sky. So why is Cat D?
No, but what I'm saying. Yes, I am agreeing with you that it's a category A because it's a rivalry, but I'm saying it should not be allowed to be a Cat A if it's on Sky.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's a case of because they've done that.
I reckon if it's a Sky game, you put it as a category F. You make it 30 quid, and then you have the thing.
Fill the ground.
Fill it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that should be a thing. If it's going to get selected for Sky, you change the categorization.
Yeah,
that should be a club friendly move. Oh, you can watch it on TV, or
you can pay 30 quid, or they turn around and said because it's a Sky game, we're doing 25 quid, and you get a pie, you get a drink and a pie.
Yeah.
Because the logic that they'll be sitting there and going is, oh, well, people will come because of the right. They'll want to be in the ground anyway. Like the playoffs were on Sky, but people still wanted to come to the playoffs, etc. sort of thing.
Yeah, because they were the playoffs. You know what I mean? It's like, it's
like, I'll be honest. I've got a reason for going. Like me and my mate are probably going to go to the Leeds game. I would probably sit this one out and watch it on Sky, given the situation, out of protest, if it wasn't for that situation.
Yeah.
But
it basically going buy a season ticket or buy a membership, or you're going to get priced out on a day-to-day.
But again, unless you live in Sheffield, right? Which a lot of people who we did live around Sheffield, we lived in Sheffield, we moved away. The club's still like, you know, we'll do a podcast. The club's massive for us. It's part of our everyday life, sort of thing. Just because we've moved away doesn't mean we don't get back as much as we can, sort of thing. And this prices out those fans. And it's like, I'm not going to buy a season ticket when I can't be there every week, because then it's just a sunk investment, you know? So you do develop the stage of, well, I'll just become a permanent armchair and just watch it all, you know? And they shouldn't be pricing out. We've talked about it so many times, but yes, Sheffield Wednesday is still at it. A few of the ticket prices have dropped. They've got rid of a category. It's too expensive. But at least we are closer to the football matching the pricing, I guess, if Nayril does a season. Because it wasn't.
I think for me, it's just the annoying thing where when you have a season like you just had, surely you can capitalize on more people wanting to come and not price them out. Yeah, and I think that's the bit that annoyed me, because you make the most of the situation you're in, where everyone behind the manager, people are starting to look like there might be a bit of a chance now, and it just, I'm not gonna say it's a problem with it, because at the end of the day we don't know what pay something, but there's got to be a little bit more thinking about who can afford it and thing. Like I said, you bet where you fix it is that the EFL turn around to the whole 72 and go, this is your prices, that's it. And you have to do it because it's now an EFL thing and you can't raise it. But the problem is, where does the owner then go?
Where do you draw the line with financial fair play and stuff like that with that? Because then it's like, if you're going to restrict us, that sort of thing. It's a mess in general.
Look at the shirt situation. Macron shirts at Stoke, 53 quid, as 69. Same shirt, same brand, same company. It just, for
the goalkeeper shirts are literally the same shirt as the other clubs as well. Have you noticed that? Just they've changed the crest.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's so cheap.
And one thing that's really incensed me about it as well is these were going to be our prices in League One as well. These haven't changed from. This was literally our League One pricing.
They might not have been.
Yeah, they could have.
I know the season ticket pricings were, and some of them were like 700 quid for League One.
Match day pricing usually fluctuates a bit more, to be fair.
And
Jack. It usually has a last minute change as opposed to season tickets, because season tickets have got more early bird offers, whereas match day pricing, usually when you set them, you know where you are. So in terms of the season tickets, you would be right.
To me, it just sort of stinks of like, the feeling was great because of Danny Rule. Let's milk this. It feels like we're being milked a little bit, and I don't like that. at all. Surely, anyway. But then there's a history of milking the fans, isn't there? That's been widely talked about by many a media article and whatnot. So
can we not use that analogy? Thank you. Moving on.
I know.
Right. That's all I've got this week for this episode of Talking Wednesday podcast. Jake, have you got anything to add, mate?
It's been a spicy episode. It's been fun.
Yes.
It's been a long time since we've had a bit of a spicy episode. So I'm waiting for when the charity boxing match between James and Jack is happening.
Fun fact, I'm actually signing up for one of those for next year, one of those ultra white collar things that you can train for 10 weeks.
Of course
I'm actually going to sign up for the one that happens next year.
That's 100% a thing you would do.
Right, if he could sign up to that, shall we do a Talking Wednesday extra and we'll go watch him and we'll do commentary?
I mean, it's all for charity and stuff. It's all like, you raise funds for charity and stuff, and I think it's a pretty cool thing. But I was like, you know what? I need to go and punch something. And I was like, yeah, actually, I really like the thought of this. So
so that's where the haircut came from.
A little bit.
Just need a white vest. Have you got anything to add before we end the podcast anyway, Jack?
I've got a wiki page, officially a wiki page about myself now, which is wild.
You made
like
yourself,
a fandom for a fictitious... No. Like a particular franchise or whatever else, and they've got those wiki pages that are all about the different characters and the different episodes of a show or whatever, if it's a show, or like the different quests in a game or something like that. I've got a wiki page now, which is it's like bucket list item ticked off. So I'm like, yes. Anyway, that's a bit of cool worko news that
could be IMDb next.
Last on. Hopefully.
Is that because you're in a project that still?
Yeah.
Oh, is it come out yet?
Oh, that's actually entered testing phases on the client, like the people that are hosting the download for it. They're just testing it now to make sure it's not riddled with Trojan viruses and stuff like that. And once that's done, it should be out. So
fair enough.
Someone almost leaked the details of the release on Reddit, and so now they've been very closed. They've been like keeping the cards close to the chest about when it could be out.
Good job, Jack.
So that wasn't me, actually. Thank you. That wasn't me. I did not break my NDA at any point during this process. So there we go. But yes,
you keep telling them that. But that's all we've got for this week's episode of Talking Wednesday podcast. Take care. We will keep. I don't know what I'm saying. See you in the next episode of Talking Wednesday.
Bye.